So you are joining me today to talk about the ultimate battle. It is good copy versus good design. Who's the winner? Which one is more important? Which one do we need to focus on in order to make more sales in our sales funnels? This is the heavyweight bout. It is design versus copy. Hey guys, I am Kathy Olson of Funnel Gorgeous, and today I am going to talk to you about which is more important, funnel design or funnel copy. And my answer today might just surprise you. So in order to really fully kind of explore the idea of design versus copy, we have to talk about good design, the pros and the cons, and then we're going to talk about good copy, the pros and the cons. Obviously, everything you do has design and copy in it, right? Even if it's bad design or bad copy, there is copy and there is design, or even if it's a lack thereof, right? And it still is going to affect your sales numbers. So what I like to say is, who is the driver? It's kind of like a car. There's a driver, there's a passenger, there's always like the backseat drivers, right? But really there is always going to be one thing that drives the design or the funnel a little bit more than the other. And so you really can't have it this 50-50 partnership. You are going to have one that's like the design is driving or the copy is driving. We're going to dive into what those different pros and cons are, but then we're going to say who is the best driver of them all, who is the fairest of them all. All right, so let's start with design. Good design being the driver. So good design is the most important thing in your sales funnel. Weighing in on the pros side is going to be, number one is that the branding is going to be on point. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful. People are going to love it. It's going to go easy on the eyes, right? Another pro in this corner is that people are inspired by good design. They see good design and they feel something about it. It's a mood, right? It's a whole vibe, right? Design can make people feel some kind of way. And then the final pro we're going to talk about is that really good design creates consistency across your brand. So it's going to make people feel welcome and calm, and they understand that this is just another piece of your brand. They're not freaked out about it. It kind of builds that trust, and very consistent across your website, your social media, your funnels, and it's going to make them feel really, really good about your brand. All right, so weighing in on the con side of having good design be the driver is that if good design is the driver, it means that copy is not, and that the message could get disjointed. If design is the most important part, it could possibly overshadow the copy and the message will become disjointed and not quite cohesive or understandable the way that it was written. It can really have an awkward flow and might actually not make sense. The second con is that sometimes when you have good design, the messaging actually changes. For example, you actually have to write things in a different way. It won't fit the design the way that it's written, so you have to make some concessions, maybe shorten some paragraphs or change some words around or use them a little bit differently in order for it to fit into the design. And the last con weighing in the con corner is that if you aren't very skilled in design, this can be very difficult. Good design is not as easy as good copy, I'm gonna say. Don't get mad at me. Consistently, we've seen our students struggle more with design than they have with copy. Not to say that this is everybody, but just there are more people who can write than can design, and that's probably because we write our whole lives, right? We're more used to it. So one of the biggest cons on the good design side is that it is a hard skill to master. All right, so now let's move over to the other corner and let's talk about the pros and the cons of copy being in the driver's seat. The first pro in this corner is that the messaging is going to be on point. It's going to be clear, it's going to be concise, it's going to be targeted, it's going to be amazing, the messaging is going to be great. The second pro on this side is it's going to increase the efficacy of the sales argument. When good copy is the driver, the sales argument is clear. It's easier to understand. It's easier to overcome objections. It's just going to be more powerful, and it's going to build on itself, right? It's going to be like kind of telling a story, and it gets more and more powerful as the words kind of compound onto each other. And the third thing that is on the pro side of copy being the driver is kind of the opposite of the other one, and it is that it is easier to write than it is to design for most people. So that is a pro. It's an easier skill to master because we're more used to it. All right, so now over on the cons side of good copy being in the driver's seat, number one, it is gonna miss out on that visual spice. It might be boring. And you might lose people as they're scrolling down the page if really good copy is the only thing you've got. If people aren't people who learn by reading, or they like people that just don't get super engaged by words, you are gonna lose them because there is no visual spice. The second con on this side is that it can feel super spammy. So when you don't couple copy with enough design, it's gonna feel like a lot of words are coming at you, and it can definitely feel like yucky, spammy, kind of like fast acting, flash, you know, save now, all this kind of stuff, right? So a lack of design when you have great copy can actually make the copy feel a little bit more scammy. It's like straight with no chaser, right? It's like the copy just down your throat, nothing to soften it, it's just right at you. And the third con on this side is it is more difficult to mix the design and copy, and so you're not actually sure how to make that mix. How do you actually make a message more readable and like better? How do you make copy even better copy by using good design? It's one of those things that is pretty hard to do, but don't worry, we teach it in FG Society. But it's not something that comes innately to most people, so it can be a really hard thing to do. All right, so who's the winner? We've got good design in this corner, we've got good copy in this corner, and what do the judges say? By technical knockout, who's the winner? It's both, guys. Come on, you really thought I was gonna make a choice between those two? It's like choosing between a kid, come on. But with that said, again, it's not 50-50. You do have to still choose a driver, but there is a specific approach based on who is the driver. So if you are a better designer, or design or visuals come easier to you, then you can feel free to have design be in the driver's seat. And the way that you kind of bring copy into the design is that you use the design as your kind of roadmap, but you're gonna make some concessions in order to make the copy fit in well. So try to stick to the copy as much as possible, or use design to make it even better. Think about, like, as you're looking at the copy and you're seeing the sentences there, and you can think about, look at a certain sentence and say, how can I make this even better through design? What is kind of confusing about the way that it's worded? Could I reword it in some way? Could I highlight something? Could I bold it? Could I make it a different color so that it actually makes the copy even better? So on the other side, if you choose that copy is the driver and it's going to be in the driver's seat, you are going to stick very closely to the copy, you're going to slip very closely to the messaging, but you're going to look the opposite. How can my copy make the design better, right? So it's going to be kind of the opposite of what you were thinking before. And how can I use a copy forward approach to bring home the design? So it's a little bit of a different thing. It's really like, what are you sticking to? Are you sticking to the design mostly and just making some concessions on the copy, or are you sticking with the copy and making some concessions on design? And a lot of the way that this happens is when you are using a template. And so you're going to look at the section, copy is first, copy is in the driver's seat, and you're going to find a design, like a section that matches the copy. So for example, if the copy says bullet points and has it all in bullet points, you're going to find a design, a piece of the design in the template that has bullet points. And it doesn't matter if it was designed that way, it was the bullet points originally were on the top or they were the bottom. You're going to grab those bullet points and put them where they go so that your copy can stay as close to the original as possible. That is how you make either one of them win. They both make each other better. Copy makes design better, design makes copy better. There's not one or the other, but you do have to be really strategic in how you do it. So this is actually what we teach inside of FG Society, which stands for Funnel Gorgeous Society. It is a certification program where we teach 3 different things, the 3 most important things that you need to master in order to sell more and become really, really valuable. And that is offer, copy, and design. And so we teach you how to mix these 3 things together, how to create an offer that's super irresistible, how to write the copy that fits and really tells the value of how awesome this thing, and then how to take the design, make the copy sing and the offer sing, bring it all together. And this is what we do in FG Society. So if you want to check it out, go to funnelgorgeoussociety.com and you can watch a free training that we have over there for you. But otherwise, I hope that I have helped you kind of squash this us versus them type mentality mentality and understand that we are better together. Can't we all just get along? And know that it is better to have both. A funnel that has great copy and great design is going to outperform something that only has great design or only has great copy every single day of the week. And I know you guys want to sell more, and I know you want to reach the world, and the secret recipe of mixing design with copy is going to get you there. If you want to dive further into copy, offers, or design, we have tons of videos that you guys can check out where you can dive in further to any of those topics. As always, appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.